Welcome, everyone, and thanks for joining. We're here with Dr. Phyllis Bivins-Hudson and Miss Naiobe Sharrock. Phyllis is a 30-year education veteran who has served in various teaching and leadership positions in New Jersey. She is also a founding instructor for the Rutgers Alternate Route Teacher Training Program. Naiobe Sharrock is an educator, a speaker, and an author. She presents on the topic of emotional intelligence and recently published the book, The Pied Piper Classroom, 50 Ways of the Emotionally Intelligent Classroom. Phyllis and Naiobe, take it away.
Yes.
Good morning. How are you both?
Well, good morning.
Good. So, Naiobe, we'll get right to it. Our conference, people who come to our conference actually want more and more of this, and so we just want to talk a little bit about where you left off. And so one of the questions is, what exactly does an emotionally intelligent classroom look and feel like?
Yes, thank you for asking. Thank you for having me at the conference. I enjoyed it and wish time allowed more for me to go deeper into this topic. But to get right to it, an emotionally intelligent classroom has a culture and a climate of unconditional acceptance. It is a classroom where students are comfortable to fail because they are comfortable to try. They are basically acknowledged, validated, and celebrated.
Great. That is wonderful. And I love the fact that you said that it's a culture where they are allowed to fail, because we all know that failing is just the first attempt at learning, isn't it?
Correct.
So the next thing is, why is it important for teachers to understand this concept of emotionally intelligent classrooms?
Well, it's important for them to understand the concept because let's look at the concept. Emotional intelligence alone is the ability to accept, to identify, and to control the emotions of oneself, others, and groups. And in a classroom setting, learning takes place in the context of not only content and skills, but the emotional climate of the classroom. If there's hostility in the classroom or fear in the classroom, content and skills is going to take a back seat to those. So getting those under control or making those a priority are very important for the learning environment.
And I agree with you 100%. And that also leads us to understand why it's so important also to understand the differentiated instruction. We have to know how to do that in order to be able to control all of these things that are going on. So
Absolutely.
how do teachers involve students in supporting an emotionally intelligent classroom climate?
Yes, well, teachers can involve students in supporting an emotionally intelligent classroom in several ways, but one of them is by allowing them to lead academic and especially social scenarios such as restorative justice circles. Just briefly, real brief, the restorative justice circles are created when there is a conflict in the classroom between students, and the students come together in a circle, and those who have been identified as the key players discuss what their angle is or where they're coming from, and those who have been victimized discuss their feelings and their impact as well. Teachers do not always have to lead. They can also be effective as facilitators as well.
And that's exactly what we want teachers to do, is to be facilitators of learning. And when that happens, of course, our classrooms evolve into becoming student-led classrooms. And I think
Correct.
giving students a voice is an awesome way to do that.
I
So
agree.
if teachers are charged with creating emotionally intelligent classrooms, school leaders, we know, have to play a role in there. So how can principals and other district school leaders ensure that teachers are able to foster and sustain emotionally intelligent classrooms? So in other words, how can leaders take better care of our teachers?
Absolutely. That's a great question. An emotionally intelligent classroom only thrives in an emotionally intelligent school, and it goes up the ladder. An emotionally intelligent school only thrives in an emotionally intelligent district. Administration must put into effect the same relationships and climate with their teachers as the teachers do with their students. Just as the students must be, teachers must also be acknowledged, validated, and celebrated as well.
And so that leaves room for partnerships and PLCs and all those other things that
Yes.
we all talk about. Absolutely. And so one last question. Time was clearly an issue at the conference. So what, if anything, did you want to share or explore more deeply that you actually couldn't do because of the time constraints?
Yes, actually, I wish I would have had more time. A lot of my colleagues share similar backgrounds that I do. I have a dual background in social studies as well as special education, and a lot of my colleagues in special education know firsthand that we have a lot of students with learning disabilities as well as emotional and behavioral disabilities. So we need these skills as much as anyone else, if not even more. And I would have liked to have gotten into how to create an emotionally intelligent classroom in a climate with students with learning disabilities and those with behavioral disabilities as well. Because as I was telling a colleague this morning right before a meeting, there is no such thing as a bad student. Misbehavior is a sign of a need that has been unmet.
And I am so happy to hear you say that there is no such thing as a bad student. That has been something that I've preached over the years. There are bad behaviors, but not bad students.
Absolutely.
And so with that, I'd like to thank you. Thank you very much for taking the time
Thank
out to do this.
you.
And we're looking forward to having you at our next conference.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me, and my calendar is always clear for you.
Thank you very
Thank you
much,
so
Phyllis
much.
and Naiobe. Thanks so much for this
Okay.
important conversation. I'm so
Okay,
glad
great.
that this conversation is going to be widely accessible so that all educators can learn more about creating emotionally intelligent learning environments for students. So thanks once more and have a terrific day.
Thank you. You as
You
well.
too, Heather. Thank you.